And he's just overrun that one, so sometimes, you know, when you're getting the cue through so smooth, he just seems to be over hitting everything. I think that's what's happened to Ronnie the last couple of shots.
11.
He had to call for his great friend Les Dodd from Southport, former professional player. He came down from Southport because Ronnie wanted a new tip on, and he said this is one of the best tips he's ever had. Sometimes you can have 4 or 5 tips on before you get them.
16.
You know, so you know how they're throwing off and things like that. And
17.
Ronnie seems to be playing every shot at the minute, virtually to the inch. He's running out of reds now, so I think this time he'll play for the blue to smash into
22.
those 4 reds that are around the black spot area. And with a bit of luck, he could actually push the black on as well. Doesn't quite have the perfect angle to do that.
No, I'll be disappointed. He may just have a slight angle on the blue, but he wanted more of an angle than this. Just got a slight angle. You have to force it, and the problem is when you're forcing it and making the angle, you don't get the pace in the cue ball. Well, he's on a red.
28.
Is he on it in such a way that he can get back up the table for the blue?
Oh, he played the bouncing stun to get up for the blue, and he misjudged it because he caught the other red.
Yeah, because he played it with so much pace, then it just reacted and hit the second red, which he didn't expect. He needed to play that a little bit smoother. But then, if he'd have played it smoother, he couldn't have got up the table for the blue. So he's opened these reds up here, and he's only got a 16-point lead. He needs to be careful.
Yes, needs a good safety, doesn't he? That's clever thinking, isn't it? Trying to put the blue and black safe.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 29.
Yeah, if he'd have found the top cushion, then I don't think Ali Carter would have been tempted with this red. He may not be tempted with it now, but well, there's a cut to the left corner. Where's the cue ball going?
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
Well, this is unlucky when you're going off. The pockets are always in the same position on the snooker table. Ronnie just left a slight angle here where he can run back up the table for a baulk colour. Solid pot. He needs to stop this side of the baulk line. Is it going to pull up? Just about. But it's still not obvious. Well, there's a red on the left-hand side of the table. I suppose he can stun behind that if he so wishes. It's not straightforward, though, to get on the next one. Do you think he could risk stunning into the top cushion, trying to get those blue and black into play?
Well, I don't think he can get back up into the baulk, John, if he plays it plain ball, so he may be forced into it. So he's took the bull behind the horns, hoping he'd get on the colour, and the worst possible things happened. He's not on the colour, and he's virtually either going to have to pot one or play an excellent safety shot because the red's right over the hole.
Well, he's got 2 choices here for me. Play the pot on the yellow, or try and hit the brown and use the yellow as a cover. His pot on the yellow's the choice. Superb! Absolutely superb!
Now this is so close to the pocket, it's very, very tough as we see this shot on the yellow again. He's just wondering whether if he plays it cushion first, could he get on the black? If he plays the top spin, could he get on the black? Because it's going to be very, very tough, unless he plays it very thin, to get past the blue spot here.
Yes, and you can't hit it too thin.
So he's played the banana for the black, and unluckily he's left himself hampered.
Yeah, which takes the black out of the equation. After the pot on the yellow, you thought that could have been the frame winner. It's not so. Just trying to play this to see how it swung back. A little bit more top spin and maybe hit the red a little bit fuller to get the full effect of what we call the banana shot. I don't think he'll be taking a pot on
Yellow
here.
ball.
Just be safety.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 8.
Well, it never rains, but it pours sometimes at this game, John,
7.
and that's now pouring.
Yep, it's becoming a downpour. I suppose the only upside, well, there isn't much of an upside, I don't suppose, but this isn't a tough pot that Ronnie has to take on here, and I feel he has to take it on. I don't think you can risk trying to play safe, and the problem is, if you take the pot on, you could run into the black and those two reds, and if the pot doesn't go in, you've sort of opened up the frame for your opponent. But I don't really see the safety, so I think you've got to fully commit to the pot here. He's giving it a bit of thought. He's got a 35-point lead.
Probably the fact that the yellow's safe may be the deciding factor on whether he's going to play the pot, and he's decided to let Ali have a go at it.
Well, he didn't fancy the safety and he doesn't fancy the pot, but, well, I wouldn't be surprised if Ali Carter played the pot. Not one little bit.
Come round to look at the potting angle. I think because you know you're going to kiss the two reds and the black, play it at a pace where you feel confident. Don't try and play it at a pace to make it a difficult pot. Try and play it at a steady pace. Where's the middle? Where's the red going? Not near enough to go in. This frame is now virtually over.
Absolutely. I agree with you, but Ali at the moment is just, well, as we say, not in a good place. He's suffering out there. Just a couple of blacks off the spot in the last frame. They hurt you when you know you've missed opportunities like that. So just this red and a colour needed for Ronnie. Could have left this red a little easier. Wouldn't expect him to miss it, of course.
Played with a lot of check side, John, didn't he, on the last colour, but he's potted the red nicely.
7.
Yeah, he put a little bit too much check side on it, didn't he, when he played the blue, but he had a quick glance at the scoreboard. This blue took a 47 points in front with just 43 remaining. Where's the cue ball going?
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 12. And the frame.
No, Ali Carter's not going to bother with the two snookers, so, yeah, looking a bit dejected in his seat, it appears to me, but Ronnie O'Sullivan won't mind. He's 4 frames clear now, 9-5.
And we're going to get a chance, John, as both players are staying with us. It's amazing. What we don't notice on real live television sometimes is how the balls bounce. We've got a little sequence of shots here that whenever you cue down on a ball, we always talk about how the white lifts off the table. There's one. And you'll see it every time here, even there, just when you're queuing down on the ball. Now, it's amazing. Sometimes at real pace, we can't see that happening.
Yeah, and I've always said this, that sometimes when the ball's bouncing, it could just be coming down when it hits the red or the colour, and then all of a sudden we call it a heavy contact, it's a kick. Is it static? It's just that the balls aren't staying on the bed of the table for me.
And now we've got a special one with the black and white ball, as it were. Just what happens there, purposely playing to make this happen. You see, look, it's virtually all the way to hitting the blue and still potted the blue. And the blue's bouncing because it hasn't landed on the apex of the blue, hasn't it? Amazing, isn't it? Real good series of shots, that.
Settle down now.